guys, happy Friday. I hope you're all enjoying your day and your workout for the day today. Thank you for all your comments on the brave photo I put on last night. I showed my son this morning and he was like, "Who's that, mummy?" Didn't even recognise it was me, which I thought was quite funny. But anyway, yes, that was me. So the reason I did that is because I think a lot of people assume that when you're a fitness instructor that you've always done that and you've always been the same way. But I just wanted to let you know that we do all go through the same struggles, and although I haven't been there for many years now, there was once a part of my life that was like that. I was self-conscious, and like I said in the picture yesterday, I just couldn't put my fork down. I just wanted to eat all the time. So whether or not that was to cover something up, or you know what young girls are like, it could be in anything. But one thing's for sure, I wasn't happy back then and I wasn't healthy. Now I know that for some of you looking at that and seeing 10 stone, you're like, oh, well, that's not that heavy, I'm 10 stone now. Well, but remember, I'm only 5'4". Oh, and actually, I just need to get something. Two things we're going to talk about today, and that is, one thing, I didn't tell you how big my waistline was, and you couldn't really see in that picture because I zoomed in on the big puffy face, but I had a big fat tummy, and also I wanted to show you this. So this is the BMI. NHS website has a BMI calculator where you can put your height, your weight, your age and your gender, and it will tell you what your BMI is. Now you can see that my arrow here from when I was 19 and I was heavier isn't in the overweight range just yet, but I was heading that way. Now, as far as I can remember, I was 10 stone. I was there or thereabouts, so I might have been in the overweight category. I'm not sure, but one thing's for sure, if I hadn't changed my lifestyle and I hadn't made a difference to what I was doing, I would have been in that overweight category and I would have got there. The other thing that I had when I was in this position, as I say, I had lots of belly fat, and so I was at an increased risk of having high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes and all that kind of thing, and I was 19 years old. Not a good place to be, and so I did something about it, as you can see, and this is where my body mass index stands today. So the arrow's down here, I'm at the lower end of the green scale, which means I've got a bit of leeway. So if I wanted to fluctuate a little bit in terms of my weight, it's not going to be detrimental to my ongoing and long-term health. And that's the way you need to look at it. So see where you are. It does come up in the app when you put your weight in. It does come up in the app where your body mass index is, but you can just go onto the NHS calculator if you can't find it in the app, and just stick your weight in, your height and your age and your gender, and it will come out on this for you. And hopefully, if you keep an eye on that and you can keep yourself down the lower end of this body mass index scale, then you can live that life of freedom because you've got a little bit of leeway there. Equally, you don't want to be too underweight either, so hopefully nobody's down this end. But and you do get people that poo-poo the BMI scale, but just ignore them, because we are on a no faddy lifestyle program, that you need to remember that this is general population. Yeah, of course you're going to get big rugby players who this doesn't really work for, because the body mass and their body mass distribution is slightly different, and muscle mass and all those sorts of things. But there's 20 of us doing this program, and most of us are around about between the age of probably about 30 and 50, and the body mass index works for us. So have a look at it and relate to it. It's a good indicator of where you are at the moment. But the other thing I've just gone through the app and I have written down every single one of you, the body weight that you put in and the waist circumference that you should have done. Now, lots of you skipped that bit, and I think it's really important, and here's why. You need to understand that if your body is laying fat down around the tummy, and in this day and age, because of some of the nasty foods out there and some of the conflicting messages, the body's starting to get to the point where insulin is being disrupted and we are laying down fat around our tummies. And we don't want that to happen, because that is a massive risk factor for heart disease, type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, as well as what we call a metabolic syndrome, which is all sorts of things put together that basically you don't want. And so you need to measure your waist circumference. Now girls, it is your waist circumference measurement should be 80 centimeters or less. That's the measurement around your belly button. If you go between 80 and 88, you are at a higher risk of getting high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes and coronary heart disease. You don't want that. If it's 88 or more, you are at a significantly increased risk of getting those things, and you've definitely got to get that waistline measurement down. Now, I don't want to scare you, but the bottom line is it is important. You need to know, so measure it, document it, and then do something about reducing it, okay? And that is exactly what you're doing by being part of this program. So you haven't got to suddenly reach out and go on a detox plan or anything like that. You've just got to be consistent, and you've got to keep going with what we are doing. You need patience. This is long term. We will get it down for you. Do not worry. If you have any concerns, then ask me. If you're worried about your husband's, then their measurement is slightly different. You do it in exactly the same place. It's not where their trousers sit, it's around the belly button, the umbilicus. You measure it round. If they are below 94 centimetres, they're okay. Between 94 and 102 centimetres, they're at an increased risk as well. And if they go above 102 centimetres, then they're at a significantly increased risk of those things. And they need to put a plan in place to reduce it, okay? Because otherwise, you know what's going to happen. Day by day, it's going to get worse and worse and worse, bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you are going to end up with these problems of diabetes and so on. So, going back to our statistics, I'm going to read off my sheet here because there was a lot. So I went through, there's 20 of you doing the 28-day challenge, and I had a look at how much you had all put in for your weights and measures, and over the course of the time, that some of you have been doing it longer than others, so there was a bigger difference in some cases, but just to give you an idea, a rough idea, that the overall average weight loss that we have got in our team of 20 is 65.4 kilograms, which is 10 stone 3 and 144 pounds. That's a lot of weight. So that's what I used to weigh, and more than me, that we've lost as a team over the course of the last year, I'd say. So I know some of you are new and you won't have lost that much yet, but just goes to show that people who've persevered, and I'll tell you in a minute about how much individuals have lost, but that it works, and we are getting there. Per person, if we average that out for the 20 of you, that's 3.3 kilos, about half a stone per person has been lost over time between you all on average. If I just look at the people who logged their weight, because lots of you haven't, which I'm a bit sad about, make sure you do that and put those statistics in. It's in your diary to do it on Sunday. It's been in your diary every Monday since we started, and you should have been logging it. But per person who has logged it, and there were 13 of you that logged, you've lost about 11 pounds, that's 5 kilos. So let's go to the centimetres on the waistline. That's even worse. Only 10 of you logged your waistline measurement. So the rest of you, make sure you go and do it today, or do it when it's logged in on Sunday. And if you join me again for the next month, then make sure you do it when it's in the calendar so that we can see the changes over time. If you don't, then do it yourself. Find yourself a notebook, put it in the notes on your phone, but make sure you write it down because it's good to see the change. So the average waistline centimetre loss is 136.6 centimetres between us all, and for over 20 of you that's 6.8 centimetres each, which is really significant. Per person who measured divided by 10 is 13.6 centimetres. So well done to you, because that is a massive health milestone that we're reducing that. Now keep going and see if you can get yourself below the 80 centimetres. If you're down there, well done. My advice to you is this: get as far below it as you healthily can with a good BMI, and that feels good, and your clothes fit nicely, and then where you can maintain it, and then you can have a bit of leeway. As long as you've got room to go up to 80 centimetres but not beyond it, you're going to stay in the region of being healthy, okay, and out of the risk zone for getting these things. You don't want high blood pressure, you certainly don't want diabetes or heart disease. So out of all of you, the most weight loss we have, one person has lost 14 kilos over the course of this program. The second next best one is 10.8 kilos, and the third is 10.4 kilos. As far as I'm concerned, that's pretty significant. And then the highest waistline measurement we've had a reduction of is 18 centimetres. That's amazing. I just can't believe that's one person has lost 18 centimetres off their waistline. The next person that's lost the most is 11.7 centimetres has been reduced off of their waistline measurement. And I'm not going to say who it is, but if you saw that person today, I think it would be a bit like when you saw the fat picture of me yesterday. You would never believe that they were any bigger than they are now. You'd just think that they've always been that size because they just look naturally that way, but they've lost 11.7 centimetres off their waist. And then the next one down is 9 centimetres, next person's off. So I just did the top 3 there for you to see, and really to inspire everyone to keep going and to work as a team and encourage each other to understand the dangers if you let your health slide, and just to make sure that you really think about it and make it part of your life. It's such a passion of mine that we get people free from the I don't know, the restraint of dietary restrictions and exercise that's too much, really. You don't need to do loads every day. We do half an hour, but you know, it's just the consistency of doing it, keep it going, and really look at your diet. 80 to 90% of what you do is going to come from that. And the reason people have higher waistline measurements and higher than average weight on the scales, which means the BMI is a bit skewed or up towards the overweight side, is literally because the calories that come in are more than the calories go out. And don't let anyone ever take you away from that. That is the bottom line. And so the best weight loss tip I can give you is to put your fork down and stop yourself, get the discipline, eat smaller portions, and that way you can eat exactly what you've always eaten if you really want to, but just eat less of it. And that is how you will get to a healthier you, and then eventually hopefully you'll get all the right balance in to make sure that you get all the vital vitamins and minerals and nutrients that you need to. Anyway, if you've got any questions, then please do ask. Thank you all for your comments to help each other this week with the time that you take when you do your exercise. I know it's hard for everybody. And also thank you for the comments that you made on my fat photo. I don't think I'm going to put it out to the general population. I think it's going to stay with you guys. But equally, if you're proud of the progress you've made, I'm proud of that, but I think I need a better photo really. But if you've got your starting photos and your ending photos where you can see more of you, I was hidden under a big coat and big baggy jeans. In fact, another secret I'll let you into, when that photo was taken, I couldn't fit any of my clothes and I had to wear my mum's clothes at that time. I was 19. Anyway, but if you've got any photos you want to share, your before and after pics, then I would be delighted for you to do that, because I think some of you who have been on this journey with me for a bit longer will really inspire the others. And it's not just about a size change. I think it's about a look of fitness change, a look of wellness, a look of strength. So some of you might not be incredibly loads smaller. In fact, you might weigh more, but you're stronger and you're fitter and you're really, really well. So share that so that everyone can get that encouragement. We've got 2 days to go on the challenge. Well, the rest of today, Saturday and Sunday. And then I'm going to put a message on Facebook later to find out whether or not you guys want to start again on Monday, or whether we'll put it off and have a day off and start on Tuesday. But if you want to send me a note with your preference, if you're going to stick with it and do it again, then that would be great. And I will leave you there because I think I've been going on for ages. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.